What's going on, child? This is your most favorite diabetic YouTuber in the whole entire world. Back with another video. Now, today we are talking about how the Knicks have officially lost to the Pacers. Yes, sirs. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not a Pacers fan, but since the Knicks knocked out the Pistons, my team, I wanted all the smoke. Like, I don't know how I felt when they were playing Boston. That one was conflicted on who I wanted to lose. But when they played Pacers, I was like, oh yeah, it's time for Halliburton to lock in and get these out of here. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I really didn't think in reality that the Pacers were gonna lose. I figured the Knicks were so loaded and so, that they didn't even have a chance. But they gave them their money. They gave them a run for their money. And honestly, I will admit that besides the Pistons, they definitely gave them more of a fight than Boston did. All right, now I'm not saying the Pistons gave them up a big fight, but way more of a fight than I expected. Now, of course, I'm going to break down everything that I feel like they need to change, what's really going to go on here. And yeah, I might be a little bit biased, but at the same time, I'm really not going to keep it. I'm not going to be real biased. I'm not going to be actually biased. Damn it, I can't even say it out loud. But I will also say this. I think they only got like $6 million in cap, and really not a lot of people leaving anyways, so it's not really much to talk about. So I will just say this as well. It is all love, no hate. Now, of course, I'm going to make my jokes be brutally honest, and I can't lie to you, I am a little bit of arsehole, but if it's hate, beef, or anything crazy like that, I straight admit it. But one more time, all love, no hate. There's two things I'm going to say about this team that I really just noticed this season. Now, I'm just going to say it, but Bridges, when they gave up all those picks and all that stuff, I didn't understand it. And low-key, I still don't understand it. But at the same time, I fully understand it. That man out there, oh my God. I don't understand. He kind of might be one of the most underrated players out there. Like, he is that glue guy. He was doing things. I was impressed, all right? I didn't know his game like that. Of course, I knew he was good and, of course, from his son's days and all that, but yeah, he's doing his thing, and I ain't gonna lie, the bridge with him and the rest of the team, it really connects. But I think, honestly, you could put him on any team, and he's going to hit like this. So, yeah, I'm a believer now of Bridges. And Brunson, I got to give him a lot of credit, only because he's got, like, Isaiah Thomas height. So, seeing him out there doing all these crazy-ass things, I do have to give him a lot of credit. And even though he flops a lot, I understand why he does it. I hate to say it out loud, but like the height difference, that might be one of the reasons. I don't know. I'm just going to say that out loud. But besides all that flopping he was doing, which he didn't do too much of it against Indiana, I will say. But all that flopping he does, that's bullshit. I'm just going to call it, but that is what it is. But other than that, Bridges and Brunson, their games are way better than I expected. Way better than I thought. Of course, I knew Brunson's skill was already there, but yeah, he just seems to get better and better. But so does Hallie, but I'll talk about them in a different video. But just real quick, I had to say that because not everything I'm going to say about them is probably going to be positive, but them two players for sure on that team were looking amazing. Well, at least Bridges was looking amazing all the time. Brunson, 50-50. Sometimes he's off. Most of the time he was on. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. So when it comes to money, they really have no money this off season. So really you're going to be looking for more role players. And I really have no idea what kind of role players you're exactly looking for, especially if you're going to keep Tibbs as your coach, which honestly, I think you should fire him. All right, I've never been a Tibbs believer. Of course, he always gets good players, good teams, and he brings them so far, but he never can finish. Kind of like, oh, pause on that. But low-key kind of reminds me of Doc Rivers. I'm just going to say it, except Doc Rivers doesn't beat his players down to their bare knees. That's the only difference. So I'm just going to start by saying that. You should fire Tibbs. I don't know how they really feel about Tibbs out in New York, but I just don't think he's going to get the job done. I don't think he really fits with this core, and I think... if you want to, I think low-key, I don't have like a coach in my mind. I'm just going to say this out loud. Like, an ideal of a younger coach who just came out of college or something, it might work perfectly well for them. I'm just thinking in my head. Now I know it's called, they call them the Villanova Knicks and all that, but just in my mind, I feel like that might work way better. Now, that's just me coming out with something in my head, but fire Tibbs. Get rid of his ass. And in general, you got to find some role players. I don't know if you need more shooting off the bench. When it comes to big men, I think you're all right as of now, because I still believe you have Mitchell Robinson and Cat, which, yeah, Cat. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not a Cat hater, but I'm really starting to believe he just can't be one of those players that just is going to give you the energy, give you the push to really, want to be somewhere. I'm not saying that he wasn't playing his hardest or anything. I just feel like it's just something in his mentality where he doesn't play the hardest he can. Like the little slight difference of maybe why Minnesota traded him instead of keeping him with Anthony Edwards might have gave him the wrong mentality, might have gave him the wrong vibe, and, just not a good fit. So, maybe that's fully why, and that's kind of coming out right now. But at the same time, it's one season. I'll fully say that next season, if he does the same shit, I'm just going to be honest with y'all, I'm going to call it out like that. But as of now, I'm going to give him a slight pass. But I will also say he was playing pretty decent. He was playing really good, and then other times he looked like he was dog shit. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Like the whole series, besides this round, I will give him credit. He was playing. He was doing his thing. He was locking up. He was shooting them threes. I'm crazy. Like, he was doing his thing. But when he played this team, nothing. They had his ass locked down point blank. I'm just going to say it like that. I mean, he was still scoring. I think last game he had 22 points or whatever. Like, he's still doing his thing, but they had his numbers locked. That Miles Turner combo, Pascal Siakam combo, had his ass out. And honestly, that just proves that he's not ready to adapt, and he's still going to adapt. And you would think him coming from the West, where there's a lot of bigger like centers and shit, you know what I mean, like the star ones, like no offense to Turner and Duran and all of them, like, you know what I mean, like the star ones, like all that practice and training, you'd figured he would be killing them over here. You'd be locking them down. You'd be like damn near the Embiid of the East right now. That's hypothetical what I was feeling. But of course, we gotta remember it's big bodega there, and he just didn't lock in. All right, maybe next year he's going to lock in, even if he makes it another year at the Knicks. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep him, of course, but at the same time, you're already hearing him talking about making big moves and big trades and all that stuff, and honestly, I don't see Hart, Brunson, Bridges, I don't see them being traded ever at this point, so, or even Anunoby. I don't even think Anunoby's going to be traded. I think he's there. Nah, I think Anunoby's there for at least one more season as well. So, like, you really don't have no pieces to move unless you are trying to, like, move Towns or something, which I don't think you have to. I hate saying it out loud because this team is so great and so loaded, and, it's not my team, but I don't think you have to trade Towns necessarily. I think you give it one more year because it was just literally this one season that you guys got to play with Towns, and, try to morph something there, which honestly, that lineup, I feel like that could have been touched up a lot better too, but yeah, but in general, I feel like everything is still pretty natural there. I think it's all going to form in there, and I think next year it's just going to, be deadlier because you're going to have more time to get better as teammates, time to more focus, time to, get that little connection back, because originally you guys already thought that, damn, we was literally going to have Dante here, and now we had to get used to Cat, and yeah. I'm not saying the Knicks didn't have a great season, because they definitely did, and I will be honest, I've never seen them this good, so I love seeing it, even though I'm not a Knicks fan. But, the East, I like to see the East thriving, because I'm from the East side, so, but just in general, they just couldn't clutch it. They just couldn't do it. And it really, I just got to give a lot of credit to the Pacers on that one, because they locked their ass down. They were underrated / overrated. Halliburton, and honestly, they just locked their ass down and just shut them up, which I honestly didn't think was going to happen. I figured the game was going to go into like game 6 or game 7, but I honestly thought the Knicks were going to use their powers, the overloading powers to, take the Pacers out. But Pacers won, Pacers in 6, go yes sirs. But honestly, when it comes to the Knicks, there's not a lot of moves they can make unless they want to make some trades with OG or Towns, which are the only two like big name players that really would. I don't know if Mitchell Robinson will be traded. He could hypothetically be another piece, but I feel like if you're New York, you want to keep him, even though you're going to have to pay him next season, you still want to keep him. So yeah, there's a lot of things they really don't have to do, but there's little things they can do and most likely will do, which will make this team even better. So really, I don't think they have anything to worry about. But that's all I got to say. I do want to know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Also in the comments, your boy make all kinds of videos, so comment you want to see. And yes, like I said, the video,